Hello and welcome to another AIC video. So if you noticed, I haven't uploaded in quite some time. That's because I have been extremely busy with packing my things and selling my house. A while back, my wife and I decided that we wanted to get out of the Phoenix area, move somewhere where we could buy a piece of land, and the first step of that was actually selling our house so we'd have the money to be able to buy something. And so kind of as my last video here, I wanted to talk about my home office. So I built this about 18 months ago, a little over 18 months ago, after my wife and I had taken in our now oldest daughter. She's almost 14 now. And she needed a bedroom, so my office had to become a kid's bedroom, and I needed a place to work since I work from home. I also wanted kind of a dedicated space to be able to record YouTube videos and things like that that wasn't part of the house. If anybody has kids, they get into everything. I wanted to be able to lock a door so that way I could be halfway through a project, leave it, and come back to it in the same condition I left it in. So this is a Tufshed. I bought it through Home Depot. There we go. That's the name of the store. And it was really quick. It was one of their kind of pre-packaged deals that they have. Now with Tufshed, you can do a lot of customizations and stuff with their sheds. With this particular one, there was no customizations. You bought what was available. I want to say this is the Tahoe model. Anyways, they have four or five models that you can choose from that you order it, and within a week or two they deliver it, like super quick, because it's, you know, it's no customizations. They already have the pieces, and then they just put you on their schedule to deliver it and install it. Now, at the time I bought this, it was 2021, and I did the math, and at the time prices of lumber and stuff had gone through the roof. However, the cost of the Tufsheds actually hadn't gone up yet. And so it was actually fairly cost effective to buy this and have it installed versus building one myself or buying a kit. I'd looked at some kits and they were only about $500 less than having it installed for me. And then buying the lumber and everything was about $1,000 less, which is quite a bit of money, but it also meant it was done well, correctly, in a very short amount of time, which to me was worth that extra cost. Now that's not the case. The cost of lumber stuff's gone way back down again, and Tufshed has increased their prices. So you'll have to kind of do that math for yourself if it works for you. This worked for me. Now, before I installed it, you can see down here at the base, there are these bricks. And one thing they'll ask you to do is to have a level place for it. The way my yard pools water, I wanted it kind of raised up out of the rocks. And so I put these down. They have a sand base, and I leveled them all the way around. And so when they came to install it, they actually put it on these bricks and use them as the level. Now, they had to shim a couple of them because I didn't do a perfect job. I did an okay job, but close enough for them to be able to shim it. And they appreciated that. The other thing I did is I had electricity installed. I did have a professional electrician come out and do the electricity for me. I had, if I come back over here, this used to be a jacuzzi that the previous owners had filled in years and years ago. And the power for it ran right where the bottom of that hose is. And so they're able to, there was still power going to that box. There was an outlet there. And they just dropped the power, dug a trench, trenched it up and over, and installed the power. Now, I initially had them do the power because I was hoping to get this permitted. It's not permitted, unfortunately. The shed itself doesn't need to be. The power should be. But the city, it's funny. The city fought me on getting this permitted, not because of that, but because of that. So I kept getting bounced back and forth between two guys, and one of them wanted this to be a hard power install. Another guy didn't want it there at all. Like, it was, I had to keep resubmitting the same plans over and over again, and kept getting bounced back and forth between the two, and they wouldn't approve it because of this. They kept making me change the light here. Now it's a battery operated sensor. It works great. It's really nice and bright, along with just a single screw. So yeah, dumb. So that's why I didn't get permitted in the end. So it's because of that stupid light. Now, customizations, I did to this myself. Obviously, if we come around to so this is the west side and this is the south side. If we come around to the north side, you can see that this is blue. I have a blue-gray. And when I bought this was the color of the sides, and this is the trim color. My first summer in this, it would get hot. And I'm talking like 85, 90 degrees with the AC running full blast. And it really didn't keep up. And I was really kind of disappointed with that. But I thought, let me try something. And so I got the same color. I matched the trim color. I went to Home Depot, got it mixed up, and painted the west and south sides white, which is really kind of tough on the eye, especially when it was fresh white paint. It was kind of blinding inside the house to look out at this thing in the middle of the day. But what it did is it had such a profound effect on the temperature inside the office that it actually made it usable. So if you're looking at doing this, I would definitely expect to paint the walls a much lighter color if this is your option. Maybe a tan or something. I don't know if I'd go with white again. I just did that because I knew this paint code color and I wanted to do it quick. This spot here was my daughter helping me. And why did I paint only the west and south side? The north side actually doesn't hardly get any sun at all during the day. The west side gets full sun, but the east side has a tree, so it's covered up by the tree. And plus in the morning, there's not as much heat, so it doesn't have as big of an effect. I'm the one who installed the windows. I cut the holes for those, and I cut the hole for the AC unit. It's not greatly installed. It's a workable situation. I'll talk about that a little bit on the inside here in just a second. All right, as we enter the shed, my realtor called it a home barn office, or office barn. That's the term he used, was an office barn, which people loved. That really got buyers going crazy. So a couple things I would have done differently inside here is I probably would have repositioned these windows. I don't know where, but they're not in an ideal location. After having had them for quite some time, I probably would have put them maybe one here on the east wall and one, and had this one further over here, just to have some more cross ventilation. The other thing I would have done is this had a vent here on the outside, and I probably would have figured out a way to have some sort of small vent fan, because even when it's a really nice day, sorry for the airplane, that's one reason why I want to move, is stinking airplane. On a nice day, it can get pretty stuffy in here with the doors closed, even with the windows closed, if there's no breeze. So it'd be nice to be able to have a way to vent the air out. This AC unit doesn't actually vent. It kind of does, but it's not great at it. It's really loud too, almost too loud. Let me go ahead and turn it on. So it hasn't even kicked on yet. That's just the fan. Let's kick this all the way down. I don't know if it's cool enough to actually kick on, but it's pretty loud once it kicks on, especially with the door closed. It's really echoing here with no furniture. I don't know if it'll kick on. We'll give it here just a second. There we go, it just kicked on. So you can kind of hear it vibrating. You can actually feel it in the wall vibrating. Go ahead and turn that off. So what I do here different is I would have bought one of these. There's some that have like a split down here in the middle that are meant to where you can actually partially close a window, which I think is really smart. And I would have bought one of those and had some sort of division in here to keep as much of the noise outside as possible. The other thing I did when I measured this hole, I did not account for installing drywall. And so this hole is actually slightly too small. So I actually had plans to have some rubber mounts or something in here. And once I kind of got everything up and finished, I couldn't do that because the hole is too small. And so I just slapped it in there. Got some cardboard in here to kind of reduce some of the vibration. So I would have done a better job measuring this and making sure I had enough room for having some sort of rubberized mount to reduce the vibration and the noise, having the unit that can be, divided and have some sound insulation there. Just because this is such a small space. In a much bigger room, this wouldn't be an issue. The other thing I probably would have done is buy one that has a heater. It doesn't have a heater. Even though I live in the Phoenix area, especially in the mornings in the winter, it does get a lot colder than I really thought it would. Of course, by the afternoon, this room can get pretty warm, even without a heater, especially if you have, a couple computers, monitors, whatever running. It doesn't stay that cold, but the last little bit as I've been using this office and I've moved everything out, I'm just on the laptop, it got pretty cold in here and stayed cold in here. This carpet, I love this carpet. So this is 2x2 squares. You can buy a set, I think it's 14 of them off of Home Depot for like 90 bucks. So really inexpensive flooring, really durable. It's industrial carpet. So I did it because, it's outside's right there. Dogs would come in, bring in grass and stuff. My kids would open the door and walk in after walking through the grass or whatever. And it cleans up real nice. I need to vacuum it just because I've been in and out of here quite a bit lately. So, but it cleans up real nice, looks real nice. And if you ruin any of these, you just rip them up and just slap down another square. So we actually had this in some of our kids' rooms because when we moved in, the previous owners had put in brand new white carpet. That stuff was ruined in a matter of weeks with kids and dogs and stuff. So we ended up putting this in some of the kids' rooms to make it a little bit of a nicer place to be. Anyways, or at least a cleaner place, or a place we could clean easier. So I really like this flooring a lot. Something else I would have done different is the electrician set these too far back, and I wish I had checked that. He installed them obviously without any drywall, and I didn't check the depth on them, so these covers don't look great. In a lot of my videos, you'll notice I never even bothered with a cover because it looked like this. So you can see that kind of all the way around on all these outlets. So that's on me. I should have checked that before paying the dude. And the last real big change I would have done, if I thought about it, is when they were installing the power, is to have run some Ethernet through here, because the Wi-Fi from the house to here is usually pretty good. Normally the Wi-Fi is right behind this window here, but with moving everything, we had to move it kind of to the other side of the house, and then the signal out here got pretty poor. So it would have been really nice to have a hardline internet coming into here, or hardline network coming into here. Yeah, and another reason I wouldn't have put a window here on the south facing wall. This got so hot. I would have liked it to have been on this side. So just because less sun, less heat. You can see here's the vent that comes on it. I just left it here. I didn't do anything special to it, but it would have been nice to have some sort of ventilation fan on the inside blowing stuff out. Something this big would have been more than enough, especially if it was quiet. You can see the pink insulation in there. So yeah, that's my final update on this Tufshed. It's been really great. The next place I'm moving, I'm buying some land. A lot of them have a barn. I'm thinking of converting at least part of the barn into my office. But I may end up doing something like this again, just because it was a great experience. Now, the last thing I would do different for sure is the height of this shed is 8 feet tall, and I couldn't go any higher because of city ordinances. I would definitely go taller if the area where you live allows it. I did find it to be just a bit too short. So Anyways, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, leave those down below. This is kind of a goodbye home office barn and hello new adventure here in the next couple of months. It'll be definitely 2 to 3 months before I come out with a new video in a new location. I may come out with one in the interim. Lenovo actually sent me some laptops to review, like as I was starting this process, and I was kind of halfway through the review, and then some things came up that we kind of had to speed up our process. So I'm like, sorry, Lenovo. They're letting me keep them, and hopefully I can put out a review of 1 or 2 of them here shortly. So, but we'll see. I'm kind of homeless right now, in a short-term rental, so the kids can finish out the school year where they're at. So anyways, thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing day.